When was the last time you watched two boxers compete for a world championship? You may not have noticed it, but a championship fight goes longer than a typical fight. Now let's have ourselves a pocket sized pep talk because in those final rounds, there are some powerful lessons on display that you can apply to what you do. And I'll tell you just what they are.
A Pocket Sized Pep Talk, the podcast that can help energize your business and your life with a quick, inspiring message. Now, here's your host, Rob Jollis.
I grew up playing and watching just about any sport, but strangely enough, the sport I enjoyed watching the most was the one that I never participated in. I'm referring to the sweet science, also known as boxing. I marveled at the skills of Muhammad Ali, the speed of Sugar Ray Leonard, and the raw power of Mike Tyson, to mention a few. But to me, there's nothing like watching a good fight. Boxing can appear barbaric to some, but if you watch closely, you'll see that this sport represents a deeper metaphor for business and life. One such lesson speaks to what happens late in a championship fight. I mention championship fight because different fights last different lengths of time. Early in a boxer's career, it's not unusual for fighters to fight 6-round matches. As boxers progress, their fights can be scheduled to last 8 rounds. And once fighters become seasoned professionals, a fight is typically 10 rounds. Try throwing punches at a heavy bag or a speed bag for 3 minutes at a time to simulate a round, and then do that for 10 rounds. You'll understand how physically demanding that can be, and that's with no one fighting back. Championship fights last 12 rounds. Most fighters aren't used to fighting that long, and for even those that are used to it, those final rounds never come easily. Often in pain, frequently bleeding, and exhausted, the great fighters fight on. As a matter of fact, rounds 11 and 12, the final 2 rounds, are referred to as the championship rounds. This is because these final 2 rounds are never fought unless it's a championship fight. It also happens to be that those final rounds leave the biggest impression with the judges and often determines the outcome of the fight. I believe there's a third reason why the term championship rounds are saved for those final 2 rounds. I think it's because it takes the heart of a champion to compete in those final 2 rounds. That's when you have to push through the pain, push through the fatigue, dig down even deeper, and fight harder than you've ever fought in your life. Does that sound like a metaphor in life? Think about the last time you had to suck it up and fight your way to the finish line. Maybe it was a project or a sale or a presentation or a proposal that you were battling, and you had to go that extra mile. I'm sure there was a voice in your head whispering, "Come on, you've done enough. This is the best you can do." Don't listen. Instead, remind yourself that these are your championship rounds. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, an amazing fighter in the 80s and the middleweight champion for 7 years, once said, "When I wake up, I train as hard as I can. But when I wake up weary, unmotivated, and don't feel like training, I work twice as hard. And that's what separates me from my competition." Now, not every fight is a championship fight, and not every round is a championship round. But the next time you find yourself seriously challenged, feeling a lack of energy, and wanting to quit, remind yourself, these are my championship rounds. Work twice as hard because it's these rounds that truly make a champion.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, please rate and recommend it on iTunes, Outcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get more information on this show and Rob at jollis.com.